And the way that I handled that, people like, oh, man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose.
Fighter needs to take almost everything. Almost everything. I take the 80% of everything.
I like that.
Because I
saw
earned it.
that.
Canelo and Crawford just had a heated exchange on a recent live where Crawford decided to be completely honest about how easy Canelo was. I didn't really feel the power they talk about. Every punch you threw was a power punch and still couldn't get me. Crawford has now added that he sees Canelo as that fighter who doesn't generally do well against people who can move and have a good defense. According to Crawford, Canelo depends heavily on a 1-1 brawl, and he dominated him in that too. This comes right after talks of a rematch where Canelo assured that he can't lose to the same fighter twice.
It means a lot to me because, you know, anybody can be a nobody, like I said, you know, and that's all they say I've been fighting is nobodies. So what can they say now? Somebody tell me, what can you say now?
And say congratulations.
That's it. What can you say?
With tension between these two escalating, two names are joining in: Benvitz and Virgil Ortiz. If this buildup is not in preparation for the rematch, then we could see Turki Alshik getting either of these two to fight Crawford. Crawford has now admitted that once he moves out of a class, he never goes back to it and he's not retiring soon. He says he feels comfortable with the move up in weight, but fans are starting to question how long he can survive here, especially with everyone who wants to fight him.
Retire. You see, Canelo is a strong fighter, and every punch he throws comes with power, right? That breaks down the body. Physically, his body is breaking down. Plus, he just had a kid. Canelo wants to go enjoy his life. He wants to keep his wits, keep his mind together, stay sharp, and go enjoy a little bit of that money that he just made. But he could not pass the torch to somebody that didn't respect the...
One man who was an interested spectator was unbeaten contender Ortiz, who, while speaking to Fight Hub TV, claimed that even though he wasn't surprised with the outcome of Crawford's historic showdown with Canelo, he admits that he expected better from the Mexican icon. I wasn't surprised. I just think I expected a little more from Canelo, but Crawford did everything that he was supposed to do. Ortiz's comments made it clear that he's keeping an eye on the big fights. He said that he wasn't shocked by Crawford's performance.
You want to fight Terence Crawford right now?
I would love to fight him, man. I think he's like probably the #1 pound for pound fighter right now.
Do you think he's out of his peak?
No.
Or is he in his peak now?
I think he's in his peak.
And you're saying you could be the peak prime Terence Crawford?
I'm saying I believe that I can.
Even after the fight, Ortiz's respect for Crawford was obvious, but he didn't shy away from pointing out that Canelo didn't meet expectations. Prior to this, Ortiz was asked if he would be open for a move up to middleweight to face Crawford in the future. Yeah, that's one I would entertain for sure. Yeah, Ortiz remains unbeaten as a professional since making his debut back in 2016, racking up 23 consecutive victories along the way. He extended his undefeated record back in February when he defeated former WBA super welterweight champion Israel Madrimov. Ortiz's unbeaten record and recent win give weight to his claim that he's willing to test himself against Crawford in a higher weight class.
Would you ever entertain a fight with David Benavidez?
You gotta understand.
I gotta ask you, bro, because I can't, you know?
My thing is, Benavidez is a big dude. Not to say I won't fight him. I fought his brother. His brother was big when I fought him. The only reason why I entertain Canelo is because he's not a big dude. He might be thick, but he's not a big dude. Benavidez is like 6 foot.
On the other hand, Canelo is chasing a return to the summit before his career winds down, and standing in his path is a name that's echoed for years like an irritating refrain: David Benvidz. However, it now seems that Benvidz knows where the money fight lies. Benvidz once again turned to Terence Crawford, whom he accused of avoiding facing him. The current WBC champion at 175 lbs said that if the fight were to take place, the physical difference between the two would be decisive. I would definitely use my size, my reach, and weight to my advantage, Benvidz said in an interview.
Me out here, Kamaru. Terence Crawford versus the Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
I knew it was coming.
He was the mandatory for Canelo.
Oh
Canelo.
my God. Relax.
What's up? The scariest guy in the division.
He's not in the division.
He said he could still make 168 pounds. The reason why he went up is nobody wants to fight.
Although Benvidz acknowledged Crawford's skill, he mixed respect with provocation, saying sarcastically, "Crawford is a smart fighter. Luckily, I won't be fighting him." His words are aimed at pressuring the undisputed champion and fueling speculation about a potential matchup. Recently competing at 175 lbs, Benavidez has even approached 200 in past training camps, showing his comfort with higher weights. Crawford, however, has spent nearly his entire career in lower divisions with 168 lbs as his most recent fighting limit. Benavidez's comments suggest flexibility and intention, stating, "Soon I'm back to 168 lb," signaling that he could adjust his weight if Crawford accepts the challenge. According to Benavidez, Crawford should let the fight between him and Canelo be as he focuses on the next steps ahead.
168, if Benavidez come down there, I don't think he beats Bud.
Okay, I dig.
That's my opinion. People want to say I'm crazy, but
no, the skill is. I mean, the skill is. No, the skill is there. Like, it's just usually because someone's a little bit bigger, right?
Yes, and they think like, okay, you got to be able to take certain punishment that the other guy's putting on you. But I watched Bud when he fought Canelo,
and despite that willingness, Crawford's team has shown no interest. His trainer, Brian Bullock McIntyre, claimed that he does not have in mind a fight against Benavidez. Sources close to the situation claimed that only a multi-million-dollar offer could make that fight a reality. He would surrender like the others. The Mexican Monster's warning to Crawford.
Bud catch those shots off his glove.
He looked amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah. He'd go to his body and he'd catch that and come up with an uppercut. You know, just all those things that seem...
He looked great.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that to ever.
No one has. Yeah, he's the best.
Canelo.
Ever. Yeah, he's the best.
And I think he would do that to Canelo on his best day. Canelo said it, he goes, I couldn't figure him out.
No.
During a recent talk on the Pound for Pound podcast, Benavidez was even more direct and claimed that Crawford could not withstand his pressure. Against my pressure, he would give up like the others. He said the statement is interesting, especially considering that Terence has just beaten Canelo Alvarez and become undisputed at 168 lbs.
If you were at 168, when we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
right, not now. It's at 175, yeah.
He probably can't even make 168 no more. When you look at these fights, you know, especially
Benavidez's father, Jose Benavidez Sr., also fueled the controversy. Crawford would only last 3 or 4 rounds with David, he said in an interview with the Diario Dean. These statements not only show confidence in Benavidez's camp, but also a clear intention to provoke the American champion. It was no secret that Canelo was going to lose his champion status after Crawford got his hand raised against him earlier this month. However, it was always going to be interesting to see where Canelo landed in each of the aforementioned sanctioning bodies rankings.
When he got hit by Crawford and he took that deep breath, it's frustrating. Don't get me wrong, Canelo facing the right opponent that's going to stay in front of him, that's going to fight, that's going to make it a brawl, Canelo knocks him out. So I'm not saying Canelo's shot or done. No, it's far from it.
If Canelo had fallen far in each of the rankings, this might have meant that a rematch against Crawford was less likely. But if he claimed the #1 spot or was still near the top, then fighting Crawford would make even more sense than it already does, just given each guy's star power and the success of the first fight. Canelo Alvarez's new WBO ranking turns heads. WBC was the first sanctioning body to release its new super middleweight rankings after Crawford beat Canelo. And the fact that Canelo was ranked #1 by the WBC seemed to set a precedent that the other sanctioning bodies could follow.
Between Terence Crawford and Canelo, personally, I do not want to see a rematch. Usually rematches are in order when it's a very close fight and you can't really tell, which fighter won. There was a lot of close rounds, swing rounds. That wasn't the case in this fight. Terence Crawford won pretty handedly. I personally scored the fight 9-3. Being generous, you can give it 8-4.
BO was the next such organization to release its rankings after Canelo versus Crawford. And like the WBC, they have also slotted Canelo at #1 in super middleweight. Again, this doesn't come as a surprise. But Canelo actually receiving this ranking is important, if only because it shows that these sanctioning bodies don't think he has lost too much of a step and would still be able to beat just about anybody in the world at his weight class.
Name to have just one name at 160, 154, I mean, it's just hard for him, ideally, to just see a fight. No names resonating at the moment. Would you be okay to see him retire?
I would. Look, he's had a great career also. Yes, he's older, but he don't have mileage on his tape.
Crawford hasn't just been letting the rankings sit, he's been talking. After moving up, he says he's not going back down and he's far from retiring. He's confident, comfortable, and aware everyone wants a shot at him now. He keeps repeating how Canelo is manageable, how the Mexican depends on trading punches and brawls more than strategy. Crawford's talking about moving smart, keeping defense tight, using movement, and clearly he proved it. It was outstanding.
It was outstanding.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I already knew it was going to happen. But I thought he was going to stop him in the 8th or 10th round. Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Once again, man, what is it about the...
On the other side, Canelo is still planning his next move. The rematch talk is alive because he swears he can't lose twice to Crawford. But Crawford's not just brushing off Canelo. He's saying that if the rematch does happen, then he delivers an even better performance. Well, do you think we'll get to see Crawford versus Canelo rematch? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.